going to show you how to add numbers with more than 4 digits. So I am going to add 102,215 onto 51,633. Now your children might be shown what they need to do in a number of different ways. So this is a part-whole model. So children have the 2 numbers here, and that is saying what's the answer. And that could be shown in a number of different ways. So it could be shown on its side like this, with the numbers inserted here. Equally, it could go the other way with the numbers inserted here. Okay, and also it could be flipped. So you have the 2 numbers at the top with the question mark at the bottom. Okay, so in school your children will be shown all the different ways that a part-whole model could be shown to them. The other way that they might have this question displayed to them is in a bar model. So you might have one number on one side, the other number on the other, and then a bracket with a question mark. That bracket could be at the top or the bottom, and it could be a curved bracket as well. Or you might have a bar model that looks something like this. Okay, and then you would have the bracket at the side to indicate what that could be. So children, again, could use their part-whole model and turn it into a place value grid. So we're going to turn this into a place value grid, which some of you would be more familiar with. So we need to make sure that's got 5 columns in it. It's got 6 columns in it. So we need to make sure that we represent the number with all of those columns. Okay. So we have got ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands. Okay. Now when you're using your place value grid, again, you can use a range of things. You can use counters, you can use paper clips, you can use sticks. If you are fortunate, you might have deans that you can use, and this is what we use in school. So if you hear your children talking about deans or base 10 equipment, then this is what we're looking at. So you'll have that represents a 1, this represents a 10, and this would represent 100. So your children would use that in school. They would also use counters and various other equipment to help them fill this in. You could draw in the digits. So again, I would avoid drawing in circles for counters because it looks like a 0 and it can confuse them. So use different shapes and so on, squares, triangles, single lines, that's absolutely fine. Now because I'm adding I can use these numbers either way around. So I can put the larger number on the top if I like, but equally I can put the smaller number on the top. So I'm going to put my smaller number on the top first of all. And we need to make sure that the children are really confident with their columns. So this is 51,633. Okay, 51,633. So make sure the children know which columns the numbers are going to go in first of all. So discuss that, make sure they're confident. So 51,633. 51,633. So get them to say it and point to it, and then you'll be able to draw in your shapes. Okay, so I'm just going to do lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 51,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 633. 51,633. Always double check. We constantly encourage children to double check their work. Okay, now I've got my other number, 102,000. 102,000. These are my thousands. Okay, so it's going to be 102. Now, does the 2 go there? No, because that would be if it was 20. 122. So this is 102,000. 102,215. Okay, so it's, that 0 is telling me there is nothing in that column, so I need to leave that blank. So I have got 100,000. So I've got 100,000, no tens of thousands, and then 2,000. So 102,215. So that's 15 is a 110 and 5 ones. Okay, so I've put in all of my numbers. I have double checked them. Okay, and there is nothing in this column. Okay, nothing in there at all. Okay, now I'm going to start with my smallest column. When I'm adding, always start with your smallest column. So I'm going to start with my ones, and I'm going to add them up. So I've got 3 here. Okay, so get your children, if they can start holding that number in their head. So that's 3 add 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's fine. I'm allowed 8 in that column. That's absolutely fine. Okay, then I move to the next column. 3 add 1 is 4. And you can double check 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 6 here. 6 add 2. 6, 7, 8. That's allowed in there. And then I've got 1 add 2. 1, 2, 3. 5 add what's here? Nothing. So 5 add nothing is 5. And then I've got nothing here. Add 1 is 1. Now, if it helps, you can get the children to put in placeholders of zeros, if that helps them. Okay, all right. So now we can see I've got my answer. Now at this stage, because the numbers are getting really large, if we count up to the hundreds, and that's where we're going to separate it with a comma. Okay, all right. Be really careful that it is not a full stop or anything like that, because that's when we get confused with our decimal points. So it is a comma, and we are separating the hundreds from the thousands. So I can see that I have got, if I cover my hundreds, I've got 153,000. 153,848. 848. 153,848. That's my answer. Now, when your children become really confident, that's when they can then write their numbers in your usual column method. And they would repeat exactly the same process. Okay, so starting with the smallest column, 3 add 5 is 8, 3 add 1 is 4, 6 add 2 is 8, 1 add 2 is 3, 5 add nothing is 5, I've got nothing there, add 1 is 1. Ooh, I'm going to separate it with a comma, separate my hundreds from the thousands, so 153,848.